So we will, my watch says it's 26 minutes past 10. So we still have 4 minutes to allow people to come in. Can I just make sure that everybody can hear me?
I can hear you well on my side. I can hear you clearly.
Thank you. Thank you.
I can also hear you clearly.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, we're not so many and we have not started yet. If you don't mind, could you just turn your video on so that at least one can have a picture of the people we're interacting with, so that we can make it more live a bit. Yeah. Charmaine Fori, I can see. Hi. Sidwell Mukhotu, hi, I can see. Simba, I've already seen you. Yeah. Tabiso Mcinga and Rev Olivia Leroux, I can see with the beautiful boy there. Yeah. Sinenhlanhla Sithulisiwe Chisale. If it's possible, can you just... there she is. Good morning. How is it over there? It's cold here. Not very cold, but it's not warm. Yeah, I see. Van Ginkel, am I seeing right? Hey, the boy is quite happy. Right. We have 2 recorded presentations. Simba will be helping with that. And this presentation, this whole session is about gender-based violence and the church. I find that very much interesting. We're going to have quite interesting presentations here on the church and gender-based violence. My name is Ndoza Keke Zula. I'm a senior lecturer at Stellenbosch University. I teach Old Testament, and I will be facilitating this discussion. We will have the presentations first, and then we allow the discussion at the end. I don't know if that will work with you, that we allow them to present, we just note down, and then have the discussion at the end. Right, I think we should start. Dr. Leroux, Elizabeth Leroux, we call her Lisa, is a research director of the Unit for Religion and Development Research here at Stellenbosch University. So she will be presenting on the church, whether the church is silent and complicit or there is hope in action concerning gender-based violence. Simba, can you please set the recording for us on?
Okay, Prof. Thank you so much. All right.
Thank you for this opportunity to speak with you. My name is Elisabeth Leroux. I'm Research Director at the Unit for Religion and Development Research, which is an independent research unit within Stellenbosch University. The unit has been around for more than 20 years, but for the last 12 years, we've had quite an explicit focus on religion and violence, and specifically violence against women and girls. I've done empirical research across the globe on this issue in 24 different countries. So this is really a field that I'm very interested in and passionate about. And I've done extensive research around the role and responses of Christian churches and violence against women and girls, or VAWG, VAWG. So it's on this research that I will be relying in my presentation today. So let me get my slideshow up, just give me So I am not today simply sharing the findings from a piece of research that I did in some country, but this is rather an overarching reflection on what I've learned from studying VAWG and the church in many settings globally. My presentation will inevitably be a reflection of my personal thoughts and interpretations, but I hope that it will nevertheless be a fair introduction for those of you who do not know the field well or are not well versed on this topic. I guess I also need to emphasize that I'm not a theologian. I have theological training, but I approach these issues as a sociologist. And my approach today, in which I hope to communicate to you, is the immediacy and the urgency of these issues in terms of people's lives and safety. So these are not philosophical or theological dilemmas. These are human lives. Today, I will be speaking on what I call the unholy triangle. So gender inequality, religion, and violence against women and girls. But in order for us to talk about this triangle and explore its implications, we first have to talk about social norms. Now, what are social norms? Social norms are dynamic and changeable rules for how a community or a social group does something. As such, social norms serve as a reference point for the individual. When you're in a situation, you instinctively default to these rules about how things are done. And rules, it's in quotation marks. Social norms are mostly socially learned and taken for granted as the way of behaving or thinking, rather than being deliberately followed. So, for example, I do not have to remind myself to offer to carry an older person's heavy luggage. I just automatically do it. Now, a specific type of social norm called gender norms are the norms that tell you how to be and behave as a man or as a woman. Now, we are going to do an exercise now. I want you to think of your earliest or your most vivid memory of learning what it is to be a boy or a man, or a girl or a woman. If you're watching this presentation with someone else in the room with you, please share your stories with each other. This exercise actually works best if we can discuss with each other. But for 1 minute, and I'm going to time it, I want all of us to try and identify that first experience or memory of being taught and learning what it is to be a boy or a girl. So I'm going to give an example from my life to just kind of help you think. So, for example, my earliest memory is understanding that all children must help in the household, but that girls help in the house and boys help outside the house. So my brothers must mow the lawn, but I'm not allowed to do that. I must do things in the house. So that's an example of learning a gender norm. So I'm going to be quiet now for 1 minute and just think about this, please.